Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Miss Anosha and today we are going to be making a Thanksgiving dinner. So I have made this dinner for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 Thanksgivings. I've done it where it's just me and Danny, and I've done it where it's a little bit of a bigger group of people. But this is such a great, easy, semi-quick meal to make when you are having Thanksgiving with a small group of people, or if it's just yourself or you and they. This is like the perfect recipe. It has all the things that you love about Thanksgiving in a like compact form. So there's 4 of my go-to dishes that I make for this meal. It is a Cornish hen, so we're gonna do Cornish hen instead of a turkey because I'm not trying to tackle a whole turkey. So if y'all want to do the turkey thing, we're keeping it simple over here. We're not doing the whole big turkey. So it's a Cornish hen dish, and we're doing yams, and we're doing stovetop mac and cheese, and then just green beans on the side. This meal is so good. Every time we make it, we eat it for like a few days, and each time we're like, it's just so good. You also don't even have to make it for Thanksgiving. Make it for Sunday dinner or any dinner, any night of the week. It honestly isn't that much work. So let's get into it. Let's start making these dishes because, you know, I'm always excited to get to the end where I can eat it. So, all right, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm gonna start with are the yams. They take the longest to cook, so we want to get them on the stove and just have them cook while we prep everything else. Alright, so we're starting with 4 medium-sized yams, and then you're going to add water. So we chop them into cubes because it's going to boil down faster and quicker and more evenly. This is like when yams are so good, but they are not like the healthiest dish. So if you want them to be delicious, you need to like know this is Thanksgiving and you don't eat it every day and just go ham. So we're putting an entire cup of brown sugar, and then we're going to add half a cup of white sugar. We're going to do a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. You're going to do 3/4 sticks of butter, which is 6 tablespoons. Then we're going to add cinnamon. You could do cinnamon to taste. I love cinnamon, so I kind of put like a healthy dose in there. This is a lot of yams, so it's gonna boil down nice, and that cinnamon flavor is gonna it's gonna be so good in there. And then I like to add nutmeg. So you don't really have to stir it or do anything. You kind of just turn the fire on to a medium heat and you just let it boil down. And your yams are cooking. Now we're gonna go and do the chicken while they cook. These take about, I want to say about an hour. If you really want nice and in there, maybe like an hour and a half. So it does take a while for these to cook down. Always keep an eye on them, stir them, make sure they're not too thick or too thin, and adjust accordingly. But you kind of just let them do their thing, and then we're gonna do the chicken.
So here's what I do to prepare the hens. Either the night before or the morning of, you just want to marinate them. So you start off by cutting the hens in half. And then I'm Caribbean, so we always wash our meat. So I'm using a lime. I'm squeezing the lime juice all over the hens and rubbing it on the skin. Then I season the chicken. I'm using salt, pepper, garlic, parsley, and cayenne only on one side because we don't want it to be too spicy. Once the hen is all seasoned, you're going to add the secret sauce, which is Italian dressing, and you're going to pour it all over the hens. Make sure it's coating them evenly, and and then you're going to put it in the fridge, and then you can either let it marinate overnight or in the morning for, I would say, at least 4 or 5 hours.
And it looks like this. And now we're ready to brown the chicken. So we have the stove set to a medium to high fire, and I'm gonna use canola oil to brown the hens. So we're just browning them, meaning we're just giving them color. We want them to be like a golden brown. We're not cooking them all the way through because we're gonna finish them off in the oven. Skin side down first. I'm gonna get that nice sizzle. I think that's my favorite sound in the world. Sizzling, food sizzling on the pan. Now that your hens are nice and golden brown and we've put them in the pan, we are going to take some of this marinade. It was marinating and we're gonna pour it into the pan. You want it to just cook in its flavors, cook up all of in that seasoning. And then we're gonna also add some water to the pan because you don't want the chicken to dry out, because we are doing a nice kind of slow cook on this chicken. We're gonna put it at 350 degrees, the oven, and we're going to cook them for about 45 minutes to an hour. Make sure you keep an eye on it, make sure it's not drying out on you, but you want it to have really this crispy skin, so we really want it to just like cook. And as long as you have the water in there, your chicken won't dry out, so it's a very important step, don't skip it. So while our hens are browning, let's just take a quick second to check on our yams before we move on to the mac and cheese. So everything's looking really good with the yams. Obviously it's gonna take a little while for them to boil down, but everything's boiling, all the ingredients have married together. So while the yams are boiling down, while the hens are browning or cooking now, we are going to make the mac and cheese. You're gonna bring your water to a boil and then you're gonna add the macaroni. I just like to give it a quick stir so they don't all stick together. Okay, so we're just gonna test out the macaroni to make sure that it's al dente. All right, I think we're good. I drained the macaroni and now I'm going to add half a stick of butter to it, and we're going to add some milk and some cheese. All right, so I'm adding the butter and I'm going to put the stove on a very, oops, wrong one. On a very, very low temperature, because we don't want to cook it, we just want to keep it warm, get everything to melt in there. So I'm melting the butter into the macaroni. So the butter is all melted in there, and I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I'm using 2 cups of macaroni and half a stick of butter, and then we are going to add in 1 cup of milk. I'm using organic whole milk. By the way, everything I use when I cook is organic. Probably 99% of all the ingredients I use. So then I'm gonna stir it all in, and you want the milk to get warm, but you don't want it to boil because we're not trying to cook the milk. Okay, now we're going to add in the cheese. I'm using 2.5 cups of cheese. I like to add it in slowly and stir it as I go, so I don't dump the whole thing of cheese in there. Alright, now it's a good time to add our seasoning. Simple seasoning. We're just adding salt, black pepper, garlic. a quick, easy, simple stovetop mac and cheese. This isn't like your throw down mac and cheese, but honestly, it does the trick and it's so good. Alright, so the mac and cheese is done. We're gonna plate it up, set it aside, and then we're gonna cook our green beans. Then we're gonna top it off with a little pepper and a little parsley as a garnish. So the green beans are super easy. We're just gonna use organic cut green beans, so the work is already done for you. We're gonna fry up some olive oil, saute them a little bit, add some salt and pepper, and that is it. That was the easiest one out of all of them. And we're just going to plate them up. And we're just gonna garnish it a little bit with some salt and pepper. Okay, now we're just gonna plate our yams. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of nutmeg, just for fun. Add a little pop. Oh my gosh, they look so beautiful. Look how good that looks. See, I like my chicken, I like everything a little bit dark skin, a little bit crispy. I love a crispy skin, so you don't have to cook it as long if you don't want it to be this dark, but I like it like this, so. And that is it. That is your simple Thanksgiving dinner for you and a friend or bae or just you. I would make this just for myself, so you know. Thanksgiving doesn't have to be super daunting. We've had very simple Thanksgivings because we both live far away from home. So this was a nice, easy way to just bring that little bit of Thanksgiving flavor home without like doing a whole crazy big meal. Alright guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Give it a like and subscribe if you like this video. Share it with your friends. If you try it, be sure to hashtag Miss Anosha Eats so I can see it and let me know how you like it. Happy Thanksgiving!